Hey guys, Optibam here, and we're here for another top 10. And these top 10s, just a little reminder, the first top 10 I did was top 10 best games of all time. Now this is top 10 worst. Now these top 10s will just about every time have a worst to go with the top 10 best, which I'll do first. So, with that being said, one thing, this list is my personal opinion. I did do some research, but it is my personal opinion. So you just need to take it as that. If you feel that I left a game out or put one in that doesn't belong, then comment on the video telling me that. And so, with that being said, let's get into the video. Number 10, we have Custers Revenge. Now, this is a very obscene game. Custers Revenge is an adult video game developed and produced by Mystique. In the game, the player controls Custer, whose goal is to overcome arrow attacks and get across the screen to rape a Native American woman. It was first released on September 23, 1982, and has not been released in the Atari 2600. And it has only been released in the Atari 2600. I can't talk. It gained notoriety without an official rating. It was disliked for being a simulation of rape. It sold approximately 80,000 copies. Now, this is a very bad game, and it's the only adult game on the list. So I'd like to get past this one really quick. So now we'll move into number 9, Ride to Hell Retribution. Ride to Hell Retribution is an action-adventure game developed by Technics and published by Deep Silver. In the game, you control Jake Conway from a third-person perspective, but all I could figure out about the story is that you ride a motorcycle a lot. It was first released on June 24th, 2013, and has since been released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. It was universally panned following release and holds a score of 15%. It was disliked because even though it had fast gameplay, it was probably the first time any game had done so many things so poorly. It has no official sales numbers. Now we have number 8, Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006. Sonic the Hedgehog is a platform video game developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. The game follows Sonic trying to protect Princess Elise after she is kidnapped by Dr. Eggman, along with showing the actions of Shadow the Hedgehog and Silver the Hedgehog in 2 campaigns separate from Sonic's. It was first released on November 14, 2006, and has since been released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It gained negative reception upon release and a score of 46 out of 100. It was criticized for long loading times, a poor camera system, gameplay glitches, a complicated plot, and sloppy character control. It has global sales of 1.04 million. Now, this game is on the list because not only was it a bad game, it put shame to the name of this very, very much enjoyed series. So, let's get into the next one. Number 7, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon. Zelda the Wand of Gamelon is an action-adventure game developed by Animation Magic and published by Philips Interactive Media. It follows Princess Zelda traveling to the new land of Gamelon to thwart Ganon's plans. It was first released on October 10th, 1993, and was only released for Philips CDI. At the time of its release, it gained positive to mixed reviews, but now has fallen into infamy with almost completely negative reviews. It has been panned for insufferable controls, glitches in the graphics, and the designer's lack of understanding of the Legend of Zelda series. There are no official sales number, but Edge magazine reported that it sold a respectable amount of units. Now, coming in at number 6 is Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu is a 2D fighting game developed by Delphine Software International and published by Electronic Arts. In the game, you play as Shaquille O'Neal, who travels to another dimension and must fight to rescue a young boy Nezu from the evil mummy Set Ra. You can already tell this is a great plot. It was first released on October 28, 1994, and has since been released for Genesis, Super NES, Game Gear, Game Boy, and Amiga. At first, the reviews were mixed, but as time has gone on, it has gotten more of a negative review with a score of 4 out of 10. One critic stated that it is not possible to come up with a worse idea than this. There are no official sales figures. Number 5 is Action 52, a game I had not even heard of before this. Action 52 is a multi-cart video game developed and published by Active Enterprises. The cartridge includes 52 games with popular genres being scrolling shooters and platformers. It was first released in 1991 and has since been released for NES and Sega Genesis. It became notorious and it has no official scoring. It was disliked for the poor quality and functionality of the games. It has no official sales figures, but is popular with collectors because of its rarity. Number 4 is Bugsy 3D. Bugsy 3D is a platform video game developed by eidetic, and published by Accolade. The game is the fourth and final game in the Bugsy series, along with being the only to feature 3D gameplay, taking place after Bugsy is abducted into space by aliens. It was first released on November 25th, 1996, and has since been released only for PlayStation. It was heavily panned by critics and has a score of 51%. It was hated for its graphics, controls, and Bugsy's grotesque personality, as no official sales numbers. And as you can see in this picture on the right, the graphics were indeed terrible. Number 3, Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. Big Rigs Over the Road Racing is a racing video game developed by Stellar Stone and published by Game Mill Publishing. The game's objective is to race a big rig loaded with illegal cargo and escape the police, even though the game only shows a big rig with no load. Yeah, great. Driving on a circular track, and the police are nowhere to be found. It was first released on November 20th, 2003, and has only been available for Microsoft Windows. It was critically panned with a score of 8 out of 100, which is terrible. It was known as blatantly unfinished with its lack of collision detection, frequent violation of the laws of physics, frequent software bugs, and severe lack of functionality. It sold fewer than 20,000 copies. That's lower than the number 10 spot on the list, which in itself was a terrible game. Number 2, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. E.T. the Extraterrestrial is an adventure video game developed and published by Atari Incorporated. The objective is to control E.T. trying to find 3 pieces of an interplanetary telephone to contact his home. It was first released in December 1982 and was only available for the Atari 2600. While upon release it was a commercial success, it has since received negative reception and a score of 6 out of 10, and along with this, the sales numbers were very underwhelming. While most of the complaints were focused on the plot, gameplay, and graphics, some critics called it a loser compared to other games and only for little kids. It has sold 1.5 million units, which is actually a good bit for this list, but it still was not a good game at all. Number 1, the best at being the worst on this list, Superman 64. I can't even begin to talk about this game because I've heard so many bad things about it. Superman 64 is an adventure video game developed and published by Titus Software. Based on the show Superman the Animated Series, it followed Superman trying to save his friends from Lex Luthor. First released on May 31st, 1999, it was only ever available for Nintendo 64. The game was heavily panned by critics and received a score of 23%. It was hated for the poor controls, bad graphics, technical bugs, glitches, gameplay, and difficulty. Despite the terrible reception, it was the third best-selling game on the Nintendo 64. Now, I put that up to the fact that it was a Superman game, and advertising can be very misleading. That's what I chopped that up to, but 23%. I put this on the front of the list in front of the other ones with like 8 out of 100, which would be an 8%, because this is a finished game. This is a finished product, not just on the computer, not just on a PC. This is meant to be made for a successful console, the Nintendo 64. That is why, one of the reasons why it's been put at number 1 on the list. But I will now say, if you think I missed anything in this list, you think I needed to add anything else, or anything was not needed to be on this list, then tell me. I will be putting the honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions in the description of the video. You can check those out. What didn't exactly make it on the list, but what I found to be bad games. Also, anyway, but that's just about it. While I try and work my screen recorder. Okay, well, that is it, guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.